On Monday, April 20th, a citywide forum inviting all NYCHA residents was held in Brooklyn in Williamsburg Houses. The event was to bring all NYCHA residents together to see a documentary highlighting the fight of Chelsea Elliot Fulton to prevent the demolition of their buildings. Some of those present were tenants who had already undergone Red Pack, while others were hoping to hear more about it. At the conclusion of the film, a speak out was held along with a panel of speakers, all of whom shared information to arm those within the fight, encourage those looking for the fight, as well as shared ideas, concepts, and information on how to deal with NYCHA issues, such as rent recertifications. There was a lot more said than you'll see in this video, but I was listening too. So I didn't film all that I would have liked to have filmed. But here's a peek at some of those on the panel who were speaking and sharing information.
We have 4 slots on this bill, red, yellow, green, and blue. And to my idea, that would be the housing market in a whole. Mayor Mamdani's goal at this point, I believe, would be to kill market rate value apartments, which is in the red. And as we know, public housing is deteriorating, which is in the blue. If we lose those two, we will have a single pill of 2 options, which would be only affordable housing or voucher housing, which is basically public assistance for every single apartment. If we lose that, we now bunch up every human being into 2 housing markets. A lot of the time they say that segregation is not right, but I believe when it comes to housing, we should segregate, depending on the person's well-being or lifestyle. So that's my goal, that's my concept. You'll hear other stuff in the future. If you heard this later, it came from me first.
Beginning of the year, just start to do it.
But they don't do it at the beginning of the year.
And then we have a lot of times issues with rent. A lot of times we have a lot of residents have issues with the rent. Well, I always say for residents, when you submit for that, if you lose the job, a lot of people, they lose or retire, immediately submit a letter to NYCHA. Don't wait until the next year certification. Immediately a letter to NYCHA. Let's say the last date of your job was, let's say, April 15. You submit it to NYCHA, internal change, your rent will get lower. If you're going to wait, you're going to submit it, let's say, 6 months later, NYCHA will never retroactive to your credit.
I'm sure you all know about the proposed demolition of the Elliot Chelsea Houses and the alleged that we voted for it, but we didn't, and now everyone's calling a survey. So the good thing I can say is we have a temporary restraining order. It is invoked at least until May 19th. So anything that promotes the continuation of this proposed demolition cannot be done. So right now, no calling, no emails, no knocking on doors, no packaging. We're also telling NYCHA that they need to get those screens down that tell people they should come to sign their project-based Section 8 lease again. So those things are being done, and we're continuing to fight. We have no other option than to do it because our elected officials think they know what is best for us, even though they do not come from here, they do not live here, they live around the corner, they live on the block, but they think they know best. They don't.